Okay, guys. How's it going? I hope you guys are doing well. I just want to make a quick video, document some things I've learned about faith this morning, and just share a couple thoughts. I'm gonna try and keep this really quick because my phone is about to die. Um, so yesterday I made a video on 1 Corinthians 15, 9 to 10, where Paul's basically saying like he's undeserving and it's only by grace that he is who he is, right? And basically the question I had going into that and the answer I got was that because I've been suffering with this unworthiness and this feeling of undeserving of living a better life or doing the things I want to do, that God's calling me to do, is that our job is just faith. Like our job is just faith. That's what pleases Him. That's what glorifies God. And that's how we participate in God's work. It's just faith, right? And I just want to quickly, and so my objective this morning as I came out here was just to break down what faith is, the simple terms, and to get really deep into it, right? Um, and first of all, to define faith, faith is just belief plus trust, okay? So it starts with the belief in God's word and who He says He is, and then trust to act off of that and the evidence, right? It's not a blind trust. It's an active trust with in His evidence, right? In who He is and what He's done, and thanksgiving of what He's done in the past, right? And there's types of faith, right? So you could have false faith, like in wrong idols. You could have uh, overly confident faith in the wrong things. Um, you could have a boastful faith. Like there's a lot of faiths, but the two faiths I want to focus on are little faith and good and great faith, right? And now I'm not here to study little faith because I want great faith, okay? So there's two instances in the Bible where Jesus tells people that they have great faith, and that is the Canaanite woman and the Roman centurion, okay? Now, what's really fascinating about these two stories is that both the Canaanite woman and the Roman centurion both feel unworthy and undeserving of God, right? The Roman centurion feels unworthy of having Jesus come into his home, and the Canaanite woman basically is rejected by God and called a dog, right? Because Jesus at the time isn't sent to for the Gentiles; he is sent for the Israelites, right, and the Jews, right, to heal them and to be there for them. Um, it basically calls her a dog, is rejected by Jesus, this Canaanite woman, and she agrees and she says, "Yes, I am a Canaanite dog," right? But then pleads again, and then Jesus says, "You have great faith." And with the Roman centurion, he's unworthy of having Jesus come into his home, and he thinks and feels that. So he sends out one of his other servants that isn't sick, and basically that servant tells Jesus like, "Hey, you can't enter my home. I'm unworthy. Just say the word, and my servant will be healed." Right? So they both feel this undeserving and this worthlessness, right? And at the same time, they're both called. They have great faith, and I'm like, what the flip? Like this kind of just like doesn't it just kind of like contradict itself? And what's also really fascinating is in both those instances, they aren't going to God for something for themselves, right? Now you could argue it's something for themselves, right? Because they're trying to heal their servant or their daughter, right? But the Roman centurion is trying to heal his servant that he loves, right? Um, and the Canaanite woman, is trying to heal her daughter that is oppressed by a demon, right? So it has nothing to do with them, right? Which is also really fascinating. And I love the Canaanite woman story because she's rejected by God, like right there, like she basically pleads with God, and God ignores her. Like it says this, like God ignored her, right? And then she pleads again, and then Jesus says something like, you know, you don't take bread and you give it to the dogs, right? Um, Basically calling her a dog. And then she goes, yes, I am a dog. I am undeserving. I am worthless. I'm a Gentile, right? But then pleads again and says something like, but even the dogs eat from the table of their masters, right? Basically showing faith in God and his goodness. And he basically says, wow, great faith. Your daughter's healed, right? You have great faith. Your daughter's healed. And it's really simple. Like, great faith is it's a very simple idea. I wrote down here, great faith is a simple faith. You don't overthink, you accept who Jesus is and ask him to do what you believe he can do, right? Like the centurion, right? Like the Canaanite woman. And you have to think about, like, what is, like, I try to think, because the Bible's pretty, like, straightforward. Like, it doesn't really associate feelings in there. I try to think, like, what is the Canaanite woman feeling at this moment when she just, like, runs all this way to see God, and then God basically rejects her? Like, God rejects her, right? And I can only imagine, like, just the drop in her heart, right? And just the feelings of, like, why am I doing this? But she still persists, even though she feels all this, and asks again and clings to God, right? Clings to God. Like, that's like suffering. That's suffering. Like, she's suffering. And I think about this in my situation, right? I was talking with a friend this morning for like 15 minutes, and he was basically telling me, like, how great his life is going, and I was basically telling him, like, I'm still stuck in the same problem that I've had, like, with the last job, with this job now. And we were going to go do something together, but basically I just said, I don't want to do that. I'm going to go be with God. And I came out here and I did a little bit more studying. But with work, there's a sense of undeserving and worthlessness, right? And I think, looking back, I've had my faith on myself still. I still have my faith on myself. And you can't have great faith. Like, the great faith I want, it can't be on me. And, you know, the object of your faith is far more important than the confidence of your faith, right? You know, God says he can do amazing things with a mustard seed of faith, right? And it's not so important, like, how much faith you have, but where your faith is. And I think my faith, or I know my faith, even though I believe in God, right, that he sent his son Jesus to die on the cross and forgave me from my sins, I still have faith just on myself and what I do. And I measure my faith based on how I feel and the things I do and how good of a Christian I am, and basically if I sin or not, right? And that's not what great faith is, right? Great faith is just knowing. It's simple. It's just knowing God is good, right? Right? You think of Jacob way back in Genesis chapter 26, where Jacob is wrestling with God to bless him, right? And before that, like, God literally tells Jacob, I'm going to bless you, right? And Jacob still has to wrestle with him all night and go through all this suffering just to receive the blessing that God promised him and fulfill it, right? Which is, like, really strange, right? And, you know, throughout the whole Bible, and especially in James, like, they say, like, suffering makes you whole. Suffering makes you steadfast, right? Suffering increases your faith, right? And when you suffer, it's I wrote down here, when you're suffering, it's hard to accept that the suffering is good because you just want to be out of the suffering, right? But Suffering makes us cling closer to God, right? If we have our faith in God, right? And his promises, right? And suffering is an exercise to strengthen our faith, right? In my case, I think I just need to have faith in the right place when it comes to work, right? It doesn't really matter what I do. It doesn't matter if I quit or if I move forward, or if I go all in or if I don't. It matters what type of faith I want to exercise and how much faith, right? Now, obviously, I want a lot of faith, right? And I was talking with my friend this morning, and I was talking with my friend. I've been telling my mom, like, I'm still struggling with work. Like, I still feel like crap, and I'm still struggling, and I can't bring myself to do the things I know I have to do to be good at this job. And everyone around me is just kind of telling me, like, maybe you're not meant for sales, right? Even my girlfriend, like, she believes in me. She trusts God. But she's like, you don't seem as excited about this. Like, I don't see that fire, that passion. And I told my friend this morning that, like, I'm still struggling with this stuff. And as he was telling me, like, his life's basically going amazing, right? Like, he's back at work. He might be getting engaged or married soon. And crap, I lost my train of thought there. What was I just talking about? Yes, I remember. Basically, all of them are telling me, like, they don't believe in it. They don't have faith in me to do what I think I can do. And this makes me frustrated. Like, I don't like it. And maybe I don't like sales. Maybe it's, like, not the most exciting thing for me to do. But I just don't like the idea that, they believe I can't do it, right? Because it's like, I know I can do it. I'm just not doing the things. Like, I'm just not, like, honestly, I just have been doing a really bad job at it. Like, it's all my fault. And it pissed me off, right? And I almost want to, like, prove it to them and show them just the faith I have in myself and in God and in his power and his empowering grace in me. And I want to do that. Like, I want to just stay in the sales job, even though, like, there's a lot about it that I don't really like, and it's really hard, right? And not even saying it for the money or anything like that, but just to, like, prove to them that God's power can overcome this. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. And a lot of me wants to do it, like, part of me wants to do it for myself. Part of me wants to do it because, man, like, God has just blessed me with, like, an amazing life, like, an amazing family. I have an amazing girl. Like, I want to make him proud, right? Another part of me wants to do it to just show the power of God, and then another part of me wants to do it for all the other people out there that feel worthless and undeserving, right? Like I do, and that maybe have, like, a past where there's not a lot of evidence to support where you want to go. And to remind ourselves that, the two people that said they had great faith, and the two people that said they had great faith were the two people that felt unworthy and undeserving, right? And that just hits hard. It makes me a little emotional even right now as I'm saying it. And so moving forward, I think I really am just going to go all in on this and just have that simple faith in God that he can do whatever he needs to do, and it doesn't, and that I need to stop having faith in my feelings and in my actions and what I do and what I'm not doing, and whether I'm wasting this or not wasting that, and just have faith in God that he could do it if he wanted to. And even if he says no or delays what I want, right, or delays his promise to me or my want or desire, whatever it is, right, I just persist and I just don't move and I just keep fighting with him. And it's like a wrestle with God. like Jacob, and like the Canaanite woman, and like the centurion, the Roman centurion. And yeah, that's just kind of what I want to say today. I hope this helps someone, maybe encourages someone, and helps you guys understand more about this great faith and what faith is. And yeah, I really love this topic. Like, I really love this. Like, this is really fascinating to me, and I wish I kind of knew this before, but at least I know now. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll be making another video for you guys tomorrow, and yeah, tomorrow's Sunday. Have fun at church, and yeah, God bless you. Peace.